As we come to this last thought of the week on love, I want to continue where I left off yesterday about love not being rude. I said yesterday about how Jesus wouldn't barge in, he would knock on the door and then he would come in as we offered the invitation. And I said Jesus is courteous. And I'm indebted to Max Lucado, a favourite author of mine, for this last thought. He talks in his book, A Love Worth Giving, about the word courteous. The first 5 letters of the word courteous spell court. And in Old England, to be courteous was to act in the way of the court. The family and servants of the king were expected to follow a higher standard. And so are we. We are called to represent the king. Jesus said, "Let your light shine before men, that they may see your good deeds and give glory to your Father who is in heaven." He gives an example of how in his church people often wore t-shirts with the name of the church emblazoned on them. And he tells how one of his staff members had to go across town to visit a store to collect a special pan they needed. However, when the staff member got there after a long drive through heavy traffic, she encountered a rather gruff store clerk who told her that they no longer carried the product. The staff member began to return tacky with tacky and abuse with abuse, but then she remembered she was wearing a shirt which said the church name, and she changed her behaviour. The truth is, we're all wearing the shirt. It says this in Galatians chapter 3, "All of you who are baptized into Christ have clothed yourself with Christ." We wear Jesus. And those who don't believe in Jesus note what we do. People are watching us about the decisions we make. When we are kind, they assume Christ is kind. When we are gracious, they assume Christ is gracious. But if we are rude or brash or unkind, what do people think about our King? When we are dishonest, what assumption does the observer make about our King? No wonder Paul says, "Be wise in the way you act with people who are not believers, making the most of every opportunity." When you talk, you should always be kind and pleasant, so you will be able to answer everyone in the way you should. Courteous conduct honours Christ. It also honours his children. When you surrender a parking place to someone, you honour him. When you return a borrowed book, you honour him. When you make an effort to greet everyone in the room, especially those who've been overlooked, you honour God's children. My brother-in-law, Jeff, has been a Christian for a number of years now. And Jeff is a Cardiff City supporter. Okay, I know, he's a bluebird. Jeff has got a name on the back of his Cardiff City shirt. It says Jesus. He wanted number 1, but they couldn't give him a number 1 because it's the goalkeeper shirt. And so he goes to matches with Jesus on his back. Now I think that's very courageous, very bold, because everything he does demonstrates what he's got on his back, Jesus. And I know that on the way to the matches, when he goes on the bus, he represents Jesus. And he wants to tell everyone, because Jesus has made an incredible change in his life. And he's so proud of it, in the right sense. He wants to tell people that Jesus can change you. And that's the kind of shirt that we've got to wear. We've got to wear the shirt of Jesus in our lives. Clothe yourselves with humility, we talked about the other week. So, we've got to be courteous and kind. We've got to show other people out there what Jesus is. And we can only do it through love. Remember, all of us, we talk about it. We say this phrase, been there, done it, worn the t-shirt, don't we? It's a phrase that we got in the English language now. What kind of t-shirt you wearing? Sometimes I say, we got certain, what's written over you, we say sometimes. What's written on your forehead? Fragile, handled with care. Rottweiler. What's written over you? What's written over me? Is Christ written on my forehead? In the Old Testament, there's a child called Ichabod. The glory of the Lord has departed. You know, that was written over the nation, over that child, because they forgot about God. What's written over us? We've got to be people that honour Christ in our lives, demonstrate Jesus in our attitudes, show him in our words, so that people, when they look at us, see Jesus. Isn't that right? If people look at me today, do they see Jesus? That's the challenge of this week. Remember? That's the whole point of 1 Corinthians 13. Paul says that we need to be imitators of Christ. That's an incredible thing. I always find that unbelievable. He says at the end of chapter 10, be imitators of Christ. Okay, be imitators of me as I am of Christ. Wow. He says, so whether you eat or drink, whatever you do, do all to the glory of God. What a powerful statement this morning. Whatever we do, in word or deed, do all to the glory of God. That's the challenge this week. That we in our lives demonstrate Jesus to the world. I have been forgiven of my sin when I repented and asked him into my life. So I want to tell others, like my brother-in-law Jeff, who wears Jesus on his back, I want to wear Jesus in my life. Lord Jesus, I pray today that as we've looked at love all this week, may it have changed us. Your love changed me. And may this week we definitely accept that challenge. You've thrown the gauntlet down. Help us to accept that challenge. To be you this week. To wear the t-shirt for Jesus. Amen.